Are you gay? You think I'm referring to this definition of gay. But I'm actually asking, are you happy? Now, look at these 3 words. What do they have in common? Sure, they are all insults, but they had completely normal meanings in the past. This is called pejoration.
Wow.
Take the word retarded for example. 100 years ago, if a doctor wanted to describe someone with severe cognitive delay, they used words like idiot, moron, and imbecile, which were not insults. In fact, they were clinically acceptable and polite. As kids started calling each other morons in the playground, and my friends calling me a f***ing idiot, the words absorbed that negativity and it became the social norm to use those words as insults. So, the medical team had to throw everything out and started using retarded, which literally just means slowed down. For a while, it worked, but you can't change human thought just by changing the word, and retarded eventually also got infected. Now we replace it with intellectually disabled, or differently abled, or neurodivergent. This is what linguist Steven Pinker called the euphemism treadmill. A word is invented to make reality sound nicer. Reality catches up, the word gets dirty, we invent a new one. We see it most clearly in the corporate world. Here, companies use the treadmill to hide their greed. When companies fire large swaths of people to replace them with AI, they don't call it firing. They call it downsizing, right-sizing, restructuring, or career transitioning. They use language as a PR shield to minimize discomfort and protect their reputation. And it's not just in English. One recent study showed that Chinese companies use phrases like 友好分手, friendly parting, while Indonesian firms say merumakan to send home. If we look at race, Negro became black, became African American, became people of color. Society thinks that if we keep updating the vocabulary, we will eventually update our minds. But this brings us to the most important question of this entire video. If we know the words are eventually going to get ruined, why do we keep replacing them? The answer lies in the hard truth that Steven Pinker pointed out. Concepts are in charge, not words. Give a concept a new name, and the name becomes colored by the concept. The concept does not become fashioned by the name. This means that if enough people associate certain ideas or connotations with a word, that word will become what people think it means, while the underlying concept remains unchanged. The internet figured out that if words don't change reality, you can use them to distort it. Let's go back to the beginning. Incel and gooning. Incel started as a sterile clinical euphemism, a polite way to describe someone with chronic loneliness, but the internet weaponized it to be an insult. Gooning does the exact same thing, but in reverse. It takes a self-destructive reality and gives it a silly name. By making the word sound fun and harmless, the internet tricks the user into not taking the addiction seriously. In both cases, the word doesn't change the reality, it just hides it. And this is where the euphemism treadmill becomes truly dangerous, because the words we use are just a substitute for actual action. When a company says they are right-sizing, they are pretending that the mass firing of workers is a natural, mathematically expected event, rather than a greedy business decision made to suck in more profit. The word right-sizing allows them to avoid taking moral responsibility. When society changes slum to inner city to underserved community, we feel like we've done a good deed. There's nothing to worry about. But the underlying concept, the poverty, the lack of infrastructure, the systemic neglect stays exactly the same. The new word just makes the people saying it feel morally superior. It becomes a shibboleth. If you're a CEO, these are the words to know. And if you are older, it may be difficult to follow new words created every day. So, why do we keep replacing them? Because it is infinitely easier to invent a new word than it is to fix a broken, unfair reality. We will know we have actually achieved equality, or cured addiction, or ended corporate greed when the names for those things finally stay put. When the words stop changing, it means the concept has finally healed. But until then, we will keep running, pouring the same toxic reality into brand new cups, convincing ourselves that as long as the cup is shiny, the poison won't taste as bad.